Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new show that we have here for you called At the Music Store. And welcome to the Music Store, where I think you probably guessed it by now, we're going to talk about music. And my name is John Munns, and we'll have different guests for our programs, and we're going to kind of take you on a journey with some of the premier musicians from around the state of Minnesota, and of course here in Hutchinson and the surrounding area as well, where this program is originating from. And basically, we invite you to join us in a conversation. It's not going to be your typical interview show like you see sometimes, a lot of times, but we're just going to sit around and talk music, talk bands, talk personnel, and some crazy stories and some interesting stories, and, well, a lot of nonsense. And to kick things off, we're going to start it out with rock and roll, and one of the premier rock bands in the area for a long, long time, many years, the Shaw Band. And joining us this evening are Mike Shaw. Good to have you here, and also Greg Mueller-Liley. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good to have you here. And of course, as I mentioned, the focus is the Shaw Band, but boy, there's a lot of history leading up to the Shaw Band. And why don't we just kind of start out, Greg, let's start with you. And let's go way back. Where did it all begin for you? Where did your interest in music start? And kind of walk us through up to the Shaw Band days.
Okay, John. Well, I was born and raised in Cleveland, Minnesota.
Go Clippers.
You know all about that. And I don't know, I came from a musical family. My mom played piano. My uncles all played fiddle and stuff. And every time there was a birthday party on my uncle or my mom or whoever, we'd have a jam session. So everybody'd bring their fiddle, and my aunts would play piano. My mom played piano. I had one aunt, Zoe, who was a fantastic piano player. She played professionally for years.
Oh.
And so we'd sit around the piano and jam.
What type of music did you play when you were doing that?
Oh, Ain't She Sweet?
Oh, yeah. Some of the good
let's see, what else? Just because you think you're my buddy.
Just because you think you're
it's
my
that old
friend.
40s ragtime.
Oh, sure.
And, you know, my cousin Harv, who was a big influence on me, he had an old flat top guitar, and he strummed along with that. And my uncle Ray Pesca, who had a band, and he played banjo, but he didn't have a really good ear. But he'd play along, and his wife Evelyn would play, and she'd shout out the chords, G, F, you know. But anyway, to make a long story longer, I picked up the guitar then, and I started messing around with it, and God, I really enjoyed it. Elvis Presley was big back then, and I started picking out Hound Dog and some of those tunes, and that's kind of how it started.
So who was your first band then when you started? Now, I'm assuming you were playing a lot on your own, of course, and with the family.
The first band was the Emeralds.
Emeralds,
A three-piece band from Cleveland, no bass, 2 guitars and drums.
Okay.
And the drummer was Tom Hermel from St. Peter, and he was big into the drum and bugle.
Any relation to Cliff Hermel, who, of
course,
yeah,
his kid.
Cliff had the music store, Gibbon Ballroom for years, yeah.
And Tom was really into the drum corps thing, and he said, I'll join your rock band if you join the drum corps. And I said, well, I play slide trombone. He said, you'll figure it out. It's baritone, you can play that. So that was the deal I made with him.
All right.
And I wasn't very good at it. But anyway, we played a few gigs, and I remember we played the Cleveland Homecoming. We got $35.
Ooh, big money in that day.
Yeah. You know, so that was my first band. And then as I got a little bit older, I played with a band called Prince and the Paupers. They were from...
I have heard of them.
Yeah, well, I was just out of high school when I was in that band. And then after that, I was in a band called Urban Crisis. They were from Blue Earth, Minnesota. And
all rock bands?
Yeah, all rock bands.
All rock bands.
And then I played some side gigs with a couple of guys from St. Peter that played modern. Billy Stangler was a drum and bugle corps guy. We used to play at the Shoreland Country Club.
Okay.
And again, we do jazz, trio stuff. And I played with Urban Crisis until about '74. And then I got a call from Mike Shaw about joining the Shaw Band. And I actually talked to him about a year, maybe even 2 years before I actually joined the band. And then also, I hardly forget, I played with the Carol Jean Show.
Yeah, which actually is when I first met you
Right.
at
Yep.
the good old Caledonia Lounge in
73,
Mankato. for
72,
anyone.
73, right in
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah, all right. So that brings us up to the Shaw Band. How about you? Where did it all begin?
It all began. Well, actually, I was born in Mankato, and my dad worked for CNN Sales.
Oh, okay.
And I had an aunt in Litchfield. She had a similar kind of business with jukeboxes and pinball machines, all that kind of thing. And my dad knew how to repair them. So my aunt asked my dad to come to work for them in Litchfield. So we moved the family down to Litchfield. My big interest in music was my dad actually played guitar, bass, and accordion. And I had an uncle that played in old-time band. It was Fez Ritchie, the Gooston Band.
Oh, yeah, Fizz Fritchie.
And that was Robert Realm. And then I went to a movie once. The first movie I went to when I was like 9 years old, I went to the Glenn Miller Story. And I was blown away. I just loved the Glenn Miller sound and the big band sound.
Yeah.
And so that interested me. I took up trumpet.
Were you any good at it?
Yeah, actually, I think I made first chair.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I made first chair in elementary band.
Oh, well, there you go.
And then I started hearing Elvis Presley, and I'm going, oh, this rock and roll stuff, I kind of like this too. And I had an older brother that played guitar, and he started a band. They were called the Rockets, and they actually played in Hutchinson at the roller rink that time.
Ted's roller rink.
Yeah, the old Ted's roller rink. And he played some couple high school jobs, and I really got interested then. I thought, well, I can't play guitar, so I started learning how to play drums a little bit. And then as time went on, my dad died in 1961, and he willed his basses to my older brother and myself. So it had electric bass and a stand-up bass. And my brother went in the Marine Corps at that time. And he left his guitar at home, and he says, you watch my guitar, Mick, while I'm gone, So I started learning how to play guitar. And I started learning how to play bass. And my younger brother, Terry, started learning drums. We started little bands around Litchfield called the Night Beats and things like that. And I went to Wilmer one day, and at the music store in Wilmer, I ran into Doug Sparts, and he had a band called the Embers.
Okay. Very popular band.
Yeah, and I joined that band. We dressed up in little tuxedos, and we dyed our hair red. We sprayed it red with blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, my mother was getting on me, I should go to school after you graduate and do something. So I went to Brown Institute. And wouldn't you know, I moved in with some more musicians. And that was the Trashmen.
Oh, yeah.
3 of the Trashmen lived in the house. And so I really didn't get a lot of school.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the books as well. I moved back to home to Litchfield because I wasn't making it at school. And a band from Clear City called the Defiance called me. And I joined that band. It was Clear City in Montevideo. And we played maybe 4 or 5 months together. And all of a sudden, one of the guys decided he's going to go to school in Morris. And another guy got a job with the Embers. The other guy worked at a grocery store, had to work Fridays and Saturdays. So I'm going. I started looking for other musicians, and I got a couple of my brother's old musicians that were still around town. And then I ran into John Collins one day at the music store in Wilmer too. And in the meantime, I was dating Karen. I'm thinking, oh gosh, I should think about a full-time job. The band thing was like, I'd make $15, $20 a weekend, or whenever you played. So she got a job at Minnesota Mining in Hutchinson. But I took on the job at the music store in Wilmer, and that really changed my whole life, basically. And I was still playing. Jimmy Thomas was the agent for the Trashmen, and they wanted me, because I lived with them, they trusted me, so they'd send me out and I would rent armories and get permits and line up everything, do the advertising. So that kind of shaped my future of learning how to promote.
Sure. Take us from, okay, Shaw Island Shaw, and then I know you started out three-piece, a lot of success.
Oh, first of all, I was mentioning how I met Greg and stuff. Mike Leedon was actually living in Hutchinson at the time. I went to work for Wally Pickle. I came over here in '69, and we played at the outside, what was it called, Beaver's Dam?
Beaver Dam.
Oh, okay, yes, I know what you're talking about.
And we played this three-piece at that show, and while we were leaving and packing up and stuff, I'm hearing this band play. I'm going, oh my gosh, who is this guitar player? God, he's really good. And one day I ran into Gleed and I said, who's the guitar player for that in Cleveland, Minnesota? He said, Greg Millenauer.
I'm sure you've been called worse.
Much worse.
He'll never admit to that to this day, though.
No, of course not. Who were the members of the band at that time? when you
Okay, it was
married?
Jim Allen and Terry Shaw and
Yeah.
Dwayne Larson.
Dwayne Larson was the fourth that you brought in.
Yeah, and then after, see, Dwayne and I worked at the music store in Wilmer together. That's how I knew him. And he was an extremely talented person. And there was Danny, we brought in Danny Grossnickel, but when he played piano and guitar at the same time when Dwayne was leaving.
Okay.
So I kind of had to put Greg on the waiting list, kind of almost to see him. But it was my idea. I wanted Greg from the beginning, basically.
Okay, and Greg, you said it took you a couple of years. Is that the holding pattern that Nick's talking about here?
Yeah, Mike called me, I think it was probably in 75 maybe, and we talked about it, and nothing really came of it.
Yeah.
I was still playing with Crisis at that time, the band from Blue Earth, and yeah, I think it was, well, I joined in April of '76. I played my first gig with the Shaw Band, or Shaw Island Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was at the old VFW here in Hutch. It was called. It was
Oh, it was the Elks at that time.
the
was it?
Elks. Yeah, that was the first gig I played with them,
Yeah,
and that would have been in
for the
April.
college, the senior. It was for a school dance, basically.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That
all
would have
right.
been April of '76.
So you actually joined the Shaw Band when you were still Shaw Island Shaw.
Shaw Allen, yeah,
Yes.
without Terry.
I
Yep.
did not realize
Right.
that, so, okay.
Yeah, when I joined, Terry left, so
Okay.
it was Dewey, Mike, Jim, Terry Jessup, and myself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, and
Yeah.
that was in what year?
'76.
Okay, so, and then when did Jim leave and it just became the Shaw Band?
2 years
78,
after
wasn't
that.
it?
Yeah, 78.
78, so from 1978 on, it was a Shaw Band to this day.
Yeah, basically, yeah. that
All
was
right,
it.
Greg for a little while.
We had Craig Jacobson from Blue Earth.
And we got Brian, and then we got Dan, and we became the Shaw Band, and that would have been about '78, I think,
Yeah.
right?
that's the Shaw Band that we're talking about today. That was in 78, you said?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are, 2025, and the Shaw Band still hits the stage. So what? Well, let's have first of all the immediate success. You had success individually with other bands. You came together. What do you think it was? Was it just the chemistry between everyone, or why all of a sudden did the Shaw Band really take off?
I thought we really had the best quality musicians around, with Greg and Danny Westman on the keyboards and Brian Gentjes. I mean,
Right.
gosh, what a great drummer, a great singer.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, wow, we've got a really good thing going here. And Greg, he learned every song right to the top, you know.
All right, so you got it all put together. You did all the booking, right?
Yes.
Mike? And did throughout all the years.
Well, there was a couple of times we had some agents.
And the other guys, I assume, were in rock bands as well
Right.
before joining you.
Right.
How did you find that common ground? Because obviously there was something to be together all these years later to find, because usually there's musical differences, as we call them.
Right, yeah.
Somebody has their, how were you able to mold that all together and stick with it for so many years?
I think Greg and I were always on the same plane pretty much. We always talked about the same things as far as what songs to do and
We'd
things
hear a
like that.
song on the radio, and we'd all say, we should do that song. And we'd
Yeah.
jump on it right now when it first came out. And that kind of did it. I mean, we'd go to the Park Ballroom or Gibbon or wherever, and we'd be playing all these songs that they're playing on KQ, and we were on top of it, and man, it took off. I mean, I think the first month I joined the band, I only had 2 or 3 nights off the whole month.
How often were you playing on a monthly basis?
Every night almost.
Well, for sure we played about 4 nights a week.
And you still all held regular jobs while you're doing that?
No.
Okay, at
anymore.
at what point did you say goodbye to that and just make music your life?
Well,
Right away for me, as soon as I
Okay.
moved up here.
All right.
I always had something on the side.
Yeah, well, I
I
think that-
always had other jobs that I kind of did.
but obviously playing that often, where, all the ballrooms, I assume?
Yeah, ballrooms, and we'd do some clubs on a Thursday or a Sunday or something like
Right.
that.
Mike did a great job. He was the best player. He could find work. It was unbelievable. And always good money, too. Just a little sidebar. I think the 4th or 5th job I played with him was Easter Sunday in Mankato. And we always went to Cheryl's parents for Easter Sunday, and they lived in the center. So I brought my guitar along. I was going to have her drop me off at the ballroom to play the gig. So we go to Cheryl's parents, and she takes me to the Cato Ballroom, and I think we started at 8, and this was like before 7, it was a line to get in already. And I looked at her, I said, man, do you believe this? And if my memory serves me, we got a percentage of the door. I made $165 in $5 bills. And $165 in 1976 was like 1,000 now. You know? So yeah, it was very good.
I remember an incident, you maybe don't even remember this, Mike, but we were playing at that time with the Midnight Special at Noah's Ark
Sure.
in Sauk Center. You guys were playing the ballroom up on the hill
Yeah.
from Noah's Ark, and we'd play like 4 nights down there and then go to the ballroom. I think it was a Friday night because we would have probably played up there on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
It was real windy. We got done. I remember walking up the hill. I said, I'll be back. I'm going to go say hi to Mike and the guys up top. And I don't even recall who I was visiting with outside, but you went in to get the money and you came out the door, and then the wind took all the money.
I don't even know about that one.
And there we were picking up money, helping
Yeah.
Shaw get his keep. So
And that's before they had big bright lights out in the back.
Oh,
so it was dark. It was dark.
It was dark,
flashlights and-
going around grabbing money. That it flew out by the lake, you know, just
but I think we found most of it. So.
yeah. Yeah.
Favorite ballroom? What, Mike? You first. What was
Cato.
Cato.
Cato Ballroom.
your- You
Mankato.
always did well down there. Of course, you had a couple of guys from Mankato, which you did well at every ballroom.
Yeah.
How many different ballrooms do you think you guys played over the
Oh
years?
God.
I think we played just about every ballroom there was, except we never went to Duluth. I don't know if is any ballrooms up there. I don't know if there's any
Yeah.
ballrooms. when you get past Brainerd, there isn't anything that I know of.
Yeah.
But I think every ballroom, because I went to every ballroom convention.
Yeah.
I always went to the conventions. So if there's a new place, I want to know about it.
Sure. Yeah.
One of the toughest places, I'll say, that with union, when the union was real strong, was Austin. The Austin Turf
Turf
Ballroom.
ballroom. Yeah.
That the guy from the union was right at the door.
We played the Holiday Inn in Albert Lee,
Yeah, that had to be in that.
and they came up and were going to shut us down. Same thing,
Wow.
the whole
Yeah.
union thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was.
You had to have so many members in the band.
Mm-hmm. How about your worst ballroom? The one you just, I shouldn't say worst or
Oh,
dislike,
boy.
but I mean least favorite, I should say.
Oh man, boy, John, there wasn't very many of them. Ghent, maybe, just because it was such a long poke.
Linwood. That was
Oh
another
yeah,
one.
I forgot about that one.
It's they're close to Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say again, they had a little supper club out there
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
too at that time. Yeah.
But boy, we had a lot of good ones. New Munich, Playmore,
Showboat had to be a terrible.
Showboat, yeah,
That was a terrible ballroom, although
Yeah.
it was a good crowds.
yeah.
So obviously the success speaks for itself. You're still doing it. All right. At what point did you've been playing all this time, night after night, week after week, month after month, year after year? At what point did you decide we're going to cut it back? That's been enough. And what was the deciding factor?
I'll let Greg take this.
Well, I retired in 1994. I was getting to the age where I thought, I got to have a real job with benefits, insurance, and all that stuff. Because, playing in a rock band, even a successful one like Ruler, you still got to have a 401k, you got to
Oh,
have
sure.
all that stuff. So I retired and I got a job at Starkey Hearing Aid Company. And I worked there for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
And I still played part-time. I had a band with my son called Jack Diddley back in the 90s. And then I'd fill in with other bands too. But for me, that was kind of it. I thought, I'm 50-some years old. I got to, I got to get something. And, I was running out of gas.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's a
It's-
grind.
It is grueling. A lot of people say, oh, all you guys had to do is grab your guitar and play it. No, there's a lot more to it than that. So.
Right.
All right, and how about at that point when Greg left, then what became of the Shaw Band?
We kept going. We hired a guitar player from town here for a couple of years, and then after that didn't work out, we hired one from Mankato and a singer. We had to interchange that part, so. But Brian and Dan and I stayed together for all that, for quite a while.
Right.
And then they actually came to me and decided they wanted to stop playing. And so when they decided I didn't know what to do, I just said, no, I could use some time off too.
Okay.
So that's basically when I stopped playing for a while.
Reunion. When did you decide to get back together?
Well, when we got, first of all, I was always after Greg to come back and play, kind of like I was hoping he would. And so his son Eric had him as a drummer. We started a band called the Papa Shaw Band.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian and Danny played with a band in Mankato. And so when Eric was with me, I still wanted to get Greg back in the band. And we had a keyboard player named Tom Stark that lived in Broughton for a while. I got a call from Doug Sparts, who started the Rock Country Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So we got inducted into the Minnesota Rock and Country Hall of Fame 2006.
Okay.
So we had to get together for a rehearsal. So we got together and did that. Was that 2000?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. We got the whole band together again, and I started thinking about doing something with Brian Gentges got a hold of me. He said, we should do a reunion thing here and in Mankato. And we were playing at a place called Buster's, and we used to pack the crowds in there real well.
That right up off Madison, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Mankato.
And so I talked to the manager, owner, and we put it together. We got together with Brian and Dan and Greg, and we put one together. And I thought, let's do some more.
I've been from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma, feeling out in LA. Northern California, where the girls I want, so I can hear my sweet baby say, keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby, baby, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby.
So we just kept doing it. And so that's what we're doing now. We just kept going on
You're still
until
doing it.
Danny passed away.
And that was big news, because I remember my son sending me a picture of a newspaper article about you guys sitting down together. And
Yes.
What can this mean? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
is the Shaw Band reuniting?
Yes.
And it did, and you're still doing it to this day. And then I think we're pretty much out of time here, but I do want to ask kids, you'd mentioned Eric, sons, daughters, sons that followed in the footsteps, got into the music business. First of all, Greg, for you.
Yep, Eric, my son, he's just started another band with a couple of guys, and they're starting to play a little bit now. Mark's in it, Mark Shaw,
Okay.
Jimmy O'Brien, and they have a singer. They do classic rock,
Okay.
and yeah, and then of course
Yeah.
Mike's boys are doing
Yeah.
well.
They're still going out and doing it, and I know a lot of them are singles, a lot of doubles. I think you guys actually
Right.
even do a couple
Yeah,
of
we did that
duo
together.
things. I tell you what, guys, this was fun. This is a
Yeah.
whole lot of fun. Anything else you'd like to add for all your fans that are watching it?
Thanks a lot, you guys. Thank you for
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
supporting
you.
us all these
Yeah.
years.
Well, hey, thank you guys for some
No.
great music, and the music
Yeah.
continues.
We're
So,
very grateful.
all right, it's
Yeah.
great having you guys. Nice having a
Yes.
chat with you,
Yeah.
as it were. All right, that's going to do it for this go around. Thank you for joining us for At the Music Store. And of course, rock and roll was a subject tonight from a couple of legends in the rock business, Mike Shaw and Greg Mueller-Liley. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time at the Music Store.